This is the fashionable citizen network. Have you ever pondered the complexities of the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution? What about the exceptions that lie within its lines? Indeed, this amendment, although seemingly straightforward, houses a multitude of exemptions that are critical to understanding the nuanced relationship between federal and state powers. The 10th Amendment, as many of you may know, states that the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. This means that unless the Constitution specifically assigns a responsibility to the federal government or forbids it to the states, that power is left to the states or the people themselves. However, there are notable exceptions to this rule that have shaped the course of American legal history. The first exemption is the Supremacy Clause, found in Article 6, Clause 2 of the Constitution. This clause establishes that federal law, treaties, and the Constitution itself are the supreme law of the land, taking precedence over state laws. This means that even if a state law is at odds with federal law, the federal law prevails. For example, in the landmark case of McCulloch v. Maryland in 1819, the Supreme Court ruled that Maryland could not tax a federal bank, establishing the supremacy of federal law over state law. Another exemption lies within the Commerce Clause. This clause, found in Article 1, Section 8, gives Congress the power to regulate commerce among the several states. Over time, the interpretation of this clause has expanded to allow the federal government to regulate a wide variety of economic activities that cross state lines. Consider the case of Wickard v. Filburn in 1942. The Supreme Court ruled that the federal government could regulate a farmer's wheat production, even if the wheat was for personal use, because it could potentially affect interstate commerce. Lastly, the Necessary and Proper Clause, also known as the Elastic Clause, is an exemption to the 10th Amendment. Found in Article 1, Section 8, this clause grants Congress the power to make laws that are necessary and proper for carrying out its enumerated powers. In the case of United States v. Comstock in 2010, the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government had the authority to civilly commit a federal prisoner beyond his release date if he was deemed sexually dangerous under the Necessary and Proper Clause. In conclusion, while the 10th Amendment ostensibly delegates unenumerated powers to the states or the people, the Supremacy Clause, the Commerce Clause, and the Necessary and Proper Clause are critical exemptions that have been interpreted to expand federal power. These exemptions have continued to shape the relationship between state and federal governments, influencing a myriad of court decisions and laws. Understanding these exemptions to the 10th Amendment helps us to better comprehend the intricate balance of power that exists within the United States.